Hello everyone, I am Silverraptor and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon video for you today. So, in this game, I've gotten to, basically I decided to join the game that Gurkha was a part of. Gurkha and I have played in the past before. He's a really good player, and we are accompanied by Hydra. His name seems familiar. I may have played with him, I may have not sure. And I think these are Korean characters, can't quite read it. We are against Outfit, Concoctarius, Akbar, and McChaff. And we're playing on Once in the Harbor, ordinarily a 1v1 map, but we're playing on the variant where it has sea lanes, so that could take affect this game. And I think an interesting note is I am going over to this right side because I am playing my Eastern Bloc Airborne deck. As you can see, I've got a lot of helicopters already ready to gear up, ready to go. And I'm going to send them over to Delta. Without further ado, let's get this started. Alright, so the game starts. First thing I do is I actually unload my Formosa here, and I move the BTR-40 over here. With the good optics, if anything tried to cross, the BTR-40 would be able to see. If anything came through here, I'm expecting the Formosa with his frag grenades to be able to stop it. The reason why I have this is just a precaution. I do have a UAZ here, so need to be wary of that. Hydra started off with a Smirch down the road here. The enemy hasn't unloaded their infantry CV, so Smirch is coming down onto the roadside where there will be vehicles. It just needs a good up. Got a few hits with the vehicle there. Oh, it managed to take out some helicopters. Getting a lot of vehicles there here. In the meanwhile, heli rush. But I anticipated this, and I have all these sockles. My infantry helicopters are going to be taking full brunt. My Mi-14s are a little bit on the backside, but my Sockles and Mi-24P going to be moving forward or taking out now the transports. There's a couple of these bows with their stingers left, but it seems that they're out of stingers. LSTR-40s are also going to be firing their Iglas against them. Sockles are going to be opening up with their Gatling guns, as well as this final bit of the troop transports are going to be shot down. But that's not all. We've got Fuchs Melander coming down. The Sockles have rocket pods, and the Mi-24Ps have Kokon M missiles, and the Kokon M missiles are going up against the Milans, while the Jaegers are left to be pelted by the rocket pods of the Sockles and the Gatling guns. So, successfully managed to hold off that assault. LSTR-40 successfully managed to land. They're going to go into this town to basically secure it with a bit of AA. All of my helicopters, now that they're actually out of basically all munitions, are going to go back to the fob that I strategically placed to be very close to a nice little concave landing zone. My Viz Satriki have managed to make it out of these Mi-14. They're just going to sit over with their PKTs as Overwatch. My Mi-24P is just moving up to fire a couple more of its Kokon missiles. Now that it's done, it's going to fly back, but oh, a missile unexpectedly came out and managed to hit it onto the side. That was unfortunate. But the Vizat, I can't pronounce it. The Sadkari managed to get into the building. LSTR-40s managed to shoot down the DAP that was coming in. That is really useful. As you can see, the enemy has this area occupied, so we need to be able to hold this off. I'm bringing in an Mi-6 to help resupply the LSTR-40s. And over here into the center, we've got Spetsnaz and VDV, and more Spetsnaz, and lots of Zhangxi and all sorts of vehicles over here onto the left side. These guys are going to try to hold off the enemy forces right here, and in the meanwhile, the enemy's going to hammer me with these Alpha Jets. Seeing that these Alpha Jets are coming, I'm trying to move the Vizyakari out of the way of those napalm bombs. Managed to be hit directly by the napalm bombs. Mi-4T seemed to be another target of that napalm bomb, as the Vizsadkari are trying to make it over to the right-hand side. DAP shoots down the Mi-4T as my Mi-8T also takes a pelleting onto the side. Can't take much more from the DAP. DAP's going to open up against my infantry with its twin autocannons. That could do quite a bit of damage to these squads, as I tried to retreat to the LSTR-40, which is now actually out of missiles, hence why I'm trying to bring in my Mi-6, but give it to the DAP here. I retreated wisely, as my Sockles, now fully armed, are going to be moving in with those Igla missiles and try to take out that DAP. But, despite the DAP threatening them, the Vizsadkari have managed to make it into the town. I know I'm going to pronounce that name right sometime this game. Spetsnaz and VDV, 4-man stack, going up against Hamyong 90s. These are really going to wreck apart infantry. As you can see, we have a clearance contested area, but This is where the effect of the fact that I'm airborne comes into effect. Even though the enemy has completely cut me off onto this town, I can fly all of my helicopters around the side and try to get them to land right here. Looks like Chaparral is going to be opening up against my Mi-24P. I try to retreat it, and it does manage to survive. Unfortunately, Flak Panther Gepard A2s have revealed themselves and managed to shoot down my other Mi-24P. I'm a little scared to bring in my Mi-4Ts and Mi-17s as they do have a Chaparral there. But the good news about this is that I actually have a number of seed planes in this Eastern Bloc airborne deck. So my Su-24MP comes in with its seed missiles. LSTR-40 managed to hit with the Vampire missile, while the other missile from the Su-22 takes out the other Flak Panther Gepard. The enemy brings forward yet another DAP. Artillery is coming in by Hydra's Donna, is trying to hold off the enemy forces. The napalm completely covering this town, essentially stopping the enemy's push from being able to hit me from my left-hand side. Now I have to deal with these Alpha Jets, and that's where I'm moving these Sockles in. The Sockles are just going to keep on moving because the missiles have a stabilizer, the same. They're going to chase down the Alpha Jets. One is shot down. These Alpha Jets have no ECM. So another couple of those Igla missiles, and that also goes down. Fuchs Milans are coming down the road, and Sockles are quickly going to try to open up with those rocket pods, and Mi-17s are going to unload some Sappers Eastern Worthy, and these guys are awesome. These napalm units are the only napalm units of their kind that actually are shock trained. Unfortunately, I lost both my Mi-17s as I was trying to have them take off. My Mi-6, which managed to unload some supply over here, is trying to make it all the way over to resupply the enemy forces. I landed here, and I figure, oh yeah, it's far enough away from the napalm. It should be just fine, right? Wrong. Apparently, heat rises and spreads, and the Mi-6 is stunned, and it's going down. So that was a little bit annoying. Su-24M is going to be taken out by these KF-16Cs, but one of them does get shot down by the Tunguska. The other is not going to get away. J-8C is going to come in. Pretty nice, cheap air superiority fighter. Really good for its cost. And we've got Fuchs Milan. They're trying to move about, but the LSTR-40 has him in the sight with his Vampire RPGs. My Mi-8 TV is unloading the Infantry CV command, and they're going to take refuge into that building. My Mi-6 moved over onto the left-hand side, and because it is so big, very big, it takes forever to land. Just absolutely forever to get landed. Fuchs LSTR-40 that moved to the right to try to take out the Milan, but here comes the Alpha Jet going straight for, well, the center of the town. And I moved my CV trying to avoid them. I thought I was going for my helicopter, but didn't matter because their helicopters took out that as well. And my 8 TVs are going to take out this Jaeger as my Fernstruppe, or my Fernstrup is command squad is going to be taking refuge, and now I have Dimitri giving us a plus 1 point lead. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention? I'm playing Conquest. Alright, so VDVs are going to unleash those Vampire missiles, 24 AP power. They're going to wreck everything, that vehicle that comes within their range. Unfortunately, lots of frag grenades from LSTR-40s are going to do the same to them, so they need to retreat. Jaegers are trying to make their way out of the forest line, but the Vizcatkari are going to be engaging with these Jaegers and take them out. The Sapper Eastern Worthy managed to find a little pocket or only building that's not under fire, as there is some more seed that is revealed into this forest line as my Su-22 comes around for another pass. In the center, it's kind of stalled as more and more Alpha Jets are coming. Yet again, they're going to be dropping bombs, and I'm going to move my CV out of the way, as well as any infantry that are going to be under threat. Immediately, I bring my MiG-23ML, which failed to shoot down those 2 Alpha Jets that they did manage to get out in time, but it's going to engage this Alpha Jet, try to shoot it down, gets stunned, but does get shot down by the Roland's 3. But fortunately, Hydra has to help me out with some Su-27Ss, as well as the MiG-25BM, going to kill that Roland's 3 with its anti-radar missiles. I moved my infantry squad into the forest, and I decided why put it into the little building, which is probably going to be hammered when there's so much forest, there's no way the enemy could guess where I decided to put this CV infantry command. Now it's time for more reinforcements. I'm bringing forward another Sokol because they are definitely sending a lot of aircraft this way, and the Mi-8Ts. my LSTR-40s actually have moved out of the town to avoid the napalm and managed to get into this tree line here. And basically with these 2 Vampire missiles that I have waiting for it, I'm waiting for any kind of vehicles to come down this road. Now it's going to surprise attack with the LSTR-40s, but I actually have some replacement. The Mi-8Ts are going to unload their own LSTR-40s, and they also have Igla missiles now. That will definitely allow me to keep this village under control. Meanwhile, massive battle is still raging on into the center. We've got more of Gurkha Spetsnaz on the right. Korean dude guys, Chinese forces on the left. And ZTZs just holding off this force into the shipping lane. Wonder what is actually in all of these supply stuff. That would be interesting to figure out. I swear one of these cargo containers has to be just full of like rubber duckies, and that would be hilarious. K1 actually providing pretty good sniper support against where these Spetsnaz are. Looks like he's firing position. Oh no, he's actually engaging these ZTZ-88As. 70 points, not too bad. Well, the armor's a little bit lacking, but they still have a nice gun. K1 does indeed go down. Alpha Jet comes in again for a visit, but we managed to successfully shoot it down with the SU-27S. Napalm is once again going to go for my Mi-6, which is also going to be targeted by, looks like, the Chaparral as it quickly is reloading. Mi-8T flies over Napalm and takes 1 more point of damage. It's getting awfully close, but looks like another napalm barrage by the Buratino managed to stun all these forces. SU-22M4P is looking for seed. PVAD fired on it, and unfortunately is not able to acquire it. SU-22M4P is going to evac after it did a loop around. Missile misses, and it does escape successfully. That is good. Cluster munition is going for my Mi-8Ts. Going to take 1 out before I realize the other one is going to sidestep from the rest of the cluster munition that's going to be landing on top of it. And the Mi-6 decides, and still too damn close to this damn napalm, so I have to move it over and say, is this far enough for you? Is this where you want to land? Just land already. Chaparral is really doing work as it fires more missiles, takes out my Mi-8T. My other Mi-8T is going to be flying back, as my LSTR-40s are going to be coming to with this Mi-6 to resupply, as these new, fresh LSTR-40s, which have unloaded, are going to provide sentry right here into the forest line. The enemy is still sending their forces forward. Chaparral is moving forward, and Alpha Jet is in. Mi-6 is reloading, quickly refueling those Iglas. Napalms are coming in, but the plane landed onto the 1-point helicopter and actually took it out. So, if you ever needed to know how to take out any kind of helicopter that's landed, the Alpha Jet itself is a pretty good missile. MiG-29 manages to snipe a little 4 HP helicopter with one of its Vampel missiles. The Vampel missiles, of course, have 5 HE, so that is a guaranteed 1-hit shot. So, I haven't been very successful in supplying, but I still have Dimitri neutralized, which is indeed important. Conqueror's M is going for these BOs, which are radar AA. 1 gets taken out, so that is a nice hit. SU-22M4P is flying overhead, trying to look for anything that is radar. KF-16C is going to try to engage with SU-22. Now, here is actually something interesting. I'm going to pause for a second. The KF-16C, it does have a bunch of AMRAAM missiles, but doesn't have too many close-range missiles. And these AMRAAMs, I've discovered, aren't really too good in close range. And that's why I moved my SU-22 to go right behind it. Then I evac, as the AMRAAM missile seems to be fairly often missing. It is trying to shoot it down with its Vulcan gun, but the SU-22 does get out. In the meanwhile, my MiG-29 does shoot down the KF, successfully well, knocking out an air superiority fire and getting revenge on the guy trying to shoot at my SU-22. I see a little bit of flash of something blue, so my LCR-40s are going to move up to try to, with their Vampel missiles, kill whatever is onto the road here. Other LSTR-40s still haven't been able to resupply because, well, I haven't been able to get a helicopter to successfully land. So, there's some vehicles here trying to engage. Flieger Faust 2, then I realize I instantly need to take those down, so the SCGs are going to move up to try to shoot them down. Milan is sitting here, doesn't actually quite see them, so but I wasn't going to allow it to shoot with MG3, the LCR-40s fire it, and now it's going to try to chase down those Flieger Faust 2s, which would definitely be a very, very huge hindrance for me to be able to use my helicopter deck. LCR-40s instantly able to clear those up, no problem whatsoever. In the meanwhle, it looks like Blue is making a massive push onto the left-hand side. They are successfully pushing the enemy back, but it looks like, well, Korean guy is going to be unloading his Zangshi. They're going to, trying to hold off the enemy forces. Zangshi is, of course, good footline soldiers. Numerous, but not too well trained. WZ-55-1, they're going to try to hold off, and these are just a lot of stuff. He definitely kind of needs a little bit of help and support right here. I'm going to try to figure out what the cause of this lag is before long, I swear. WZ-55, so he is going to be holding off, but just to be a bit guarantee, here I go with a MiG-29 with 4 napalm bombs that also explode on contact, coating the area on fire and successfully providing a choke point so that the enemy can, or Korean guy can focus on the forces here pushing into the left-hand side. We're also, at the same time, pushing up to the river in Elena, successfully holding off the enemy forces. LSTR-40 is going to be taking out some Jaegers, but they're also going to be pincered by the rifleman squad that are going to have to try to retreat. But the M2A2 Bradleys shoot it while they're moving, so they're unable to fire their RPG-29s. They're going to try to acquire and fire one. Does take out one of the Bradleys, but the remaining LSTR-40 member does go down to the sheer amount of firepower that is coming through. And I need to reinforce this quickly. As you can see, the enemy still controls this area, and I'm painfully aware, which is why flying over here is the best bet to keep my forces reinforced. MiG-27K does take out the Chaparral, and Korean guy leaves, but not because of a rage quit, because he actually lost connection, timed out, left, and we are down a member. So it's 3 versus 4. How are we going to survive? Smoke is coming in. LSTR-40 has 2 RPG-29s, as well as the enemy is pushing forward with the LVTPs and the Humvees. It looks like they're getting ready for a push, and my forces aren't very numerous. My Mi-18 that went back for a refuel has gotten its rocket pods fully armed. It's going to try to pepper those LVTPs with its rocket pods to help out. Su-22 M4P took out some seed as its missiles are done. LSTR-40 is going to try to shoot at the Dornier 205. Does successfully shoot it out because they do have quite a bit of firepower. LVTP-1 goes down to the Vampire RPGs, but the other one does get taken out by the combined frag grenades, as the LSTR-40s on this side are also going to be able to shoot at these vehicles. LVTP, one more Vampire missile, gotta fire. Fire at those Humvees, and does take out the LVTP. They're also going to try to hold off these US Marines to prevent them from moving forward. The Sapristrom Worthy are going to be opening up with their napalm, and these shock-trained napalm troops quickly take apart those US Marines as I'm just holding off the enemy forces. LSTR-40, they're going to also move their RPGs to try to take out these LVTPs, as well as any more vehicles that are trying to cross. Though they're taken out, as the Sapristrom Worthy are also holding off these forces. I managed to bring up an Mi-24P, going to move forward with its Kokon missile, takes out the Bradley. Going to also provide a bit more anti-tank support or anti-vehicle support. Fuchs Milan getting dangerously close to where my CV infantry, but it seems like my gamble's paid off. He doesn't quite suspect I moved my CV into the forest area. I'm moving up some of my Mi-14s. I actually did a loop around to see if they were trying to flank us. Hopefully they were not. Mi-14s are going to land their foot-trained soldiers as this combined force of the Sapristrom Worthy and the LSTR-40 successfully keep these Jaegers in a permanent stun. But the enemy has also moved his forces over here onto the left-hand side with light riflemen, and to cut them off, I dropped an Mi-29 or a MiG-29 napalm bomb to try to funnel the enemy forces. I'm fairly confident my Sapristrom Worthy are going to be able to hold off these enemy forces because these guys, they're the bomb. Well, they're on fire, I should say. Mi-24P doesn't have any rockets, but it does have a Gatling gun, as well as the Mi-4Ts are going to be engaging with their PKTs to take out all of the Delta Force, which are out in the open. LSTR light riflemen have basically lost every building to stay in because, well, they're all on fire thanks to the Sapristrom Worthy. US Marines are also trying to move forward against the Sapristrom Worthy as the light riflemen are taken out. The Mi-24P does take out the last of those forces as a DAP is taking out my Mi-4Ts. Fallschirmjäger is moving up as the Visadkari are going to try to engage with their RPKs. Mi-24P is moving up. It was trying to chase that helicopter, but it's also going to help out with its autocannon, take out the Fallschirmjäger. Shoots a couple of missiles at the Bloc Mi-16 does hit it, so that is out of action. Mi-24P going to try to engage, but they are taking quite a bit of concentrated fire by the riflemen, but it does take the heat off of my Viziankari, who are trying to engage these forces. Even though it's armored, I do need to back up this helicopter, so it is now combat ineffective currently. In the meanwhile, reinforcements have arrived and deserve the more Sapristone worthy, these napalm troops, because they have done so well keeping off those enemy forces and being attacked by all sides, and there's only one man left from the original squad. He needs to have some brothers move up, and they're going to try to help reinforce this town. My Viziankari are going to move into this forest line because it is a bit of a defensive boost, able to hide behind trees, and they're going to try to exchange fire with the riflemen 90s. Now, in terms of light riflemen, or the secondary gun, the Viziankari have a clear advantage with 40% accuracy of 519 rounds per minute, and also Mi-17s. Complete advantage. My Mi-24P took quite a bit of beating, went around the roundabout. It's going to go around this mountain and down here into the fuel. Looks like Hydra put some LSUs as some early warning system, but they're nearly out of fuel. They don't have much fuel to begin with. BMPTs are going to be pushing up, and it seems like my allies are pressuring them from the left side. I see this, and I actually took one of the Sapristone squads, and I moved them into this town right here. Mi-4T is actually moving up to scout to see what is available, and something actually shot it there, and I suspect that might actually be the CV. Rocket, a little bit of artillery is moving by. I see an MiG-25 RBF going to up against these Kylers to do quite a bit of damage. It does indeed escape as my Su-22 M4P is going to be shot down by the KF-16C. And my allies don't have very much AA support. A couple of Tarantulas over here. There was a ship out here onto the left-hand side for the enemy, but the Tarantula did shoot it down. One of the enemy does leave, as it seems clear that we are holding the line. Sapristone worthy, backed up by the Mi-17, are going to melt these Delta forces with some nice, more illustrious napalm. In addition, looks like I'm getting some mortar support, as well as another MiG-29 is going to be dropping its napalm bombs. Command Abrams is revealed by the Mi-17. Sapristone worthy going to keep holding off those Delta forces, and some Bradleys are going to move up to try to shoot at the Mi-17s, as well as the Chaparral is also there. Going to need to definitely take this out, especially the Abrams, which is actually pushed out of the sector due to the fact that it is, well, where the city is now on fire. U.S. Marines are going to be pushing up, and the Sapristone worthy are going to make a last stand, holding off with their shock training and napalm. Sierra 30 moves forward and sees the Command Abrams trying to move back at the last second, manages to quickly take it out, but is shot down by a KF-16C on the way. Viziankari have taken over the role of the LSTR-40 earlier and is going to be providing sentry. Moving some Mi-17s that was going to try to sneak around to take out some of their artillery, but the Tiger II is going to hit all 4 Stinger shots, completely unheard of, but shoots down my 2 Mi-17s, but is now out of AA missiles. MiG-29 is flying overhead in case the enemy has any more bombers that they want to throw hand at me. Sapristone worthy still trying to burn out this Delta force with their napalm. The Chaparral is going to be shooting at my exceptional optics helicopter, but it looks like he's fired all 4 missiles, and so the helicopter is going to retreat. Sapari finally went down to the constant artillery that was come in as the MiG-29, taking advantage of Chaparral having to reload its missiles. It's going to drop 4 of those napalm bombs that explode when they land, taking out that Chaparral, no problem. Clearing the way for my Mi-17s to bring in more Sapristone worthy. As you can see, these guys, they're a beast. They rip apart infantry, essentially are a very cheaper Spetsnaz squad, as each Sapristone worthy are 20 points, and I think Spetsnaz is 35, so about half the points, just as effective in killing out enemy forces. Mi-17s, as they're trying to land, are taking out more Fuchs Milans that are trying to come across, and presumably infantry inside them. And looks like a Bradley is going to be engaging the Mi-17s, which are going to have to fall back. Mortars are also going to be landing on where they are on the landing zone, trying to hold off the enemy forces. Ooh, one of the Sapristone squads took a big hit, but they managed to get into this town, and I'm pretty sure they can go and clear this out. And these other Mi-8Ts, what are they bringing? As they finally unload, land. Come on, land, unload. You've got artillery coming in. They brought out Commandozi, 15-man squads. Should be able to live through those mortars, and the Commandosi are going to provide some necessary RPG defense for the Separate System worthy, because the Separate aren't very good against vehicles, just like Spetsnaz. So that's where the Commandosis come in and provide a little bit more support. Thanks to the end, our ally constantly pushing forward and keep them at bay, preventing them from reinforce. The Separatists worthy are able to quickly whip apart the infantry forces. I tried to get them into this area, but they decide, let's go and stroll our way out in the view of these Bradleys. So I said, well, get back in there, you idiots. Looks like a Fuchs is going to be moving up into this Bradley area. Commandosis are going to try to get into this building to try to see if they can get line of sight. First thing, what are they going to target? And actually the Fuchs, which is actually what I didn't want. I actually wanted these Bradleys. One of the Bradleys takes a front hit, but doesn't survive the RPG, so the Commandosi are going to have to retreat for now, so that they can actually get, well, a nice, actually long RPG shot, and kind of recover and not get focus fired by those Bradleys. Over on the right-hand side, another Tiger II is going to be coming up against my Mi-17s. More of my Mi-17s are going to be taken out, but they actually find line of sight of where their mortars are. Taking that knowledge of seeing where those mortars are, I am actually going to call in a couple of bombers soon and basically bomb where those two areas are. Here they come. MiG-25 RBF don't want to fly directly over where their main AA net is, so they are going to be flying overhead. MiG-29 is also going to follow up right behind them, as well as a Lazur. They are going to be able to try to shoot down any aircraft that might try to stop these MiG-25s from delivering their payload, and those Tiger IIs are out of missiles. But, whoa, a helicopter over here. I don't want that. MiG-29 Lazur, go and take that out. Well, they had decided they have to veer off. Lazur is great because it can actually has 2 missiles to shoot at helicopters. MiG-25s launch their bombs. One gets shot down as the bombs are going to fly in. Did they get anything as the smoke clears? Well, doesn't look like it. Well, it was a good guess, though. MiG-29, it looks like it's going to be engaging against some aircraft. Come on, stop lagging on me. Tiger II is flying overhead. It's up to the Lazur to try to shoot it down. Lazur is flying back. It's got those 2 missiles. It is elite trained, so even though those missiles are pretty poor accuracy, it is going to shoot down that Tiger II. Now there's a BO flying overhead. Lazur, you are almost out of fuel, but can you make it? Come on, just got to get in range, and it decides to veer off to the right to try to get a good line run, and it has to evac. So, because it's out of fuel. What a surprise. LSTR-40s are actually still have some England missiles, so they can't shoot out that BO. In the meanwhile, I am moving up some more forces. Commandosi have moved up, and they're going to be attacking these Bradleys. My allies are continually pushing forward, and it seems like the enemy is no longer pushing onto this left-hand side. So even though our Korean friend has left the game, or was forced out of the game, this area is still secure by his remaining forces. Mi-8T is going to take out some of those riflemen that have just revealed themselves to the Commandosi. So that was quickly cleared up. More BOs with basically a lot of AA that the enemy has been bringing in, and I've been having to adapt to that as well. We have had +1 lead this entire time. K1s are providing good over river support. Looks like another Smirch is coming in, trying to hit the enemy's forces over here on the back side. The artillery, where is it targeting? I'm not sure. Oh, I saw some sparks. I think I saw some sparks. Was there something? That's like right here. Oh well. Action. Troop transports moving in, which means they've unloaded some troops, probably Volksman Jaegers. Lazurs are going to try to fly in, shoot at the troop transports, but they have to evac after the run. As the troop transports fly overhead, they're taking massive amount of fire from my troops. SU-22 is going for an automatic, takes one out. Another SU-22 fires another, takes out another radar vehicle that was on the ground, but does get shot down by the F-16AM. Do need to be a bit mindful of that. Jaeger's moving up, and the Vizad Curie ambush them with their RPKs. Trying to actually do quite a bit of damage because these Jaegers are out in the open. The Vizad Curie hiding behind trees are able to take triple the amount of firepower from these Jaegers of the MG3s and actually do quite a bit of damage. But eventually, the sheer amount of firepower are going to overcome these Vizad Curie as they are panicked Alpha jets are again coming in. 6-8C fires once, but now I don't have any AA to stop them. A couple of HQs try to open up, but the Alpha jets do successfully get it off. Sapri's worthy does manage to successfully stay alive from that napalm. And I need him to be able to join his brother, so I unload my troops, regroup them, and put them back into this village. So now there's a 3-man squad with 1 honorary troop joining the other 2-man fully squatted up troops. Z7H going to bring a 1,000 kilogram bomb onto those Jaegers, essentially reset the board for me. But it looks like they're the radar unit right there. There was a bit of more sparks here into this forest. A VEEK 40, that's certainly interesting. Going to be shooting at my Mi-8Ts. That's actually alright if anything to shoot at. Mi-24P is going to have to retreat, as it did take quite a bit of damage. MiG-25 RBF going to unload its bombs. Did get taken out quite heavily as it just dropped the load. And as I can see, there's a lot of enemy forces coming in. Another SU-22 coming forward and actually takes out the VEEK and the automatic. It is going to have to retreat. If the answer is how much seed do I have in this deck, answer is a lot. It's an airborne deck. I know enemy's going to be bringing out radar, and this deck is to counter that. SU-27Ss are going to be flying overhead, trying to be able to provide any kind of air cover, as the MiG-25BM is going to take out more seed. So Hydra is helping me out with his seed of the day. And MiG-27K takes out the Kyler and is going to say, Mary do. KF-16C is going to try to come in, but those aircraft are out of the fight in no time. The good news about this deck, I don't actually have any radar, so I don't have to worry about micromanaging it or the enemy seed whatsoever, because all of my AA is these LSTR-40s, a few other infantry squads that I've got stashed in here, and lots of planes. Mi-24P, they're going for this, and they found the Volschmidt Jaegers. That was actually kind of what the role is, was to see where they would shoot. Mi-24P is going to take a huge amount of fire by these Volschmidt Jaegers and does get shot down. The Mi-8R is going to try to get away, does actually successfully get away, as my MiG-29 is going to be unloading its bombs right where those Volschmidt Jaegers were. But they do move, so my bombs are going to miss just barely. And the enemy forces are moving forward, and I know they're going to be engaged hit right where my CV infantry squad is, so they are going to have to move. We still have a +2 lead even without Dimitri. Sapri's are going to restage themselves to be able to hold off the Volschmidt Jaegers, because I imagine the enemy is going to try to push in to this town. At least I'm hoping for anyway. I'm moving up some Mi-24Ps with their rocket pods and mainly their Gatling guns. If I can get the Volschmidt Jaegers to focus on something other than them, those Vulcan guns will rip them apart. LSTR-40s are also going to reposition themselves to take out any vehicles that try to cross the bridge. And as you can see, I have just positioned myself completely and perfectly. Mi-17s are going to unload those man-pad squads over at the left. Mi-8T is going to bring in some reinforcements. Both Jaegers have been revealed, as the Mi-8T is going to sacrifice itself to give the Mi-24 the chance to fire. Rocket pods are going to be moving forward, but the Volschmidt Jaegers are indeed revealed. Roland 3 is out of actual missiles, as the automatic is going to open up yet again. We need more seed. Incoming seed. SU-22 is going to be coming forward, going to be trying to fire. Both missiles miss. The other 2 missiles fire do take out the Roland 3, as the automatic is going to be very deadly. MiG-27K misses. J-87 takes out the automatic. Excellent work from my allies. We just hold off the enemy forces, and the Volschmidt Jaegers go right into Sapri's worthy, which finally get into the range of their napalm. And that's it, they get stunned up. Commandozi are going to try to hold off the Volschmidt Jaegers as well as the Mi-4Ts are going to be bringing forward with their PKTs to try to shoot at them out. SU-22 is going to be looking for another seed run flying overhead, as the Grenadiers are fighting as my forces are indeed holding. Napalm bomb managed to land right here as the Mi-4Ts decided it would be a nice area to merry stroll across. Sapri's worthy do retreat as the napalm hit my town as well, as the last enemy does surrender in that last final push. And we've held with a total victory. As you can see, Hydra did a really good job. Took merry a loss, but got quite a bit of kill board. I did rack quite a bit of losses, but I did also have quite a bit of kills and was being hit by 3 sides at once. Only reason I was able to keep that area because I kept supplying myself from the air. Gurkha, of course, awesome as always. And look at the kills at the start. Sockles definitely killed lots of stuff. Those Alpha Jets, definitely a good thing to be shot down. Mi-24Ps, very versatile helicopter. Took out quite a bit of stuff. LSTR-40s, oh, godsend. Taking out all the vehicles and aircraft that would threaten that area. Could not have also done it without my seed. Lots and lots of seed planes. Stepping stone worthy. Also, definitely held off LSTR-40s. MiG-29 got a couple of kills. All in all, a very good complimentary kill as I held on to that area and kept the right flank for our allies, and also getting that sector captured so that we can get a nice total victory. Conquest point 627. Very nice. We were only about 375 points, or 73 points off from winning naturally. So, that was a good game. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you would like to see any more Wargame videos. And to make sure you don't miss an upload, make sure you hit that little bell icon there as well. And I'll see you all in the next episode.